NeonicVoid Productions presents.
Hello. So, ladies and gentlemen, joining us today is Possessed Devin. Seems that demon finally went so far up his ass. He's now got Devin's eyes rolling to the back of his head.
I can make a real inappropriate joke right now, but I'm not going to. It's too easy. It's too easy.
Yes, you are.
No, that's just Johnny down there. I can't. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. You should have cut that out. Cut that part out, Devin. No. No, we want sponsors.
Oh, yeah, we do want sponsors.
Unless Adam and Eve want to sponsor.
What? Shit.
Adam and Adam.
Adam and Steve.
I mean, no, there's a branch of Adam and Eve that's called Adam and Adam. It's gay.
Well, I figured, but they should have gone with the whole Adam and Steve thing.
Right?
That would have been gold.
Perfect marketing. Hi, welcome
you would have had the gays flocking to you.
Oh.
Anyway.
Oh. Hi. Welcome to Book Watchers, where I wish to do this full time one day. I am your stunning, magnificent ginger host, Devin, and today I'm joined with the freakishly tall, amazing, stunning, breathtaking, pretty boy.
Already graying.
I know, I've noticed. Jacob.
Yeah, he was pointing them out.
I wasn't trying to be mean. I was just like,
you weren't, but he was like looking at me like on the side.
I was like, do you have a lot of,
he started counting.
I did.
He was counting them. He was like 1, 2, 3, like, you got a bunch of gray hairs now. And I'm like, yeah, thanks for pointing them out.
I wasn't trying to be mean. I'm so sorry. I mean, I have a lot of blonde hair and I have some white hair coming in too. Unfortunately. I want to keep this red hair as long as possible, babes. This red hair makes me money. Not really. Not really. It just not.
I hate to tell you this, but since your hair is much lighter than mine, it's going to go whiter than mine a lot sooner.
Shut up. I want to keep my gingerness. God damn it. Welcome to Book Watchers, where I don't want to go white. Hair.
Yes, and we're... Yes. Welcome to Book Watchers, where he's already gone white.
I'm already white. I'm Caucasian from the mountains of Caucasus.
No, you're from no, it's more like from the Isles of Skye.
I'm from the potato farm. Just a spud.
He said it, not me.
Just a spud chilling. Yeah. So hi, welcome. How are you? In the description below, you will see a link to the link tree that'll take you to all the fabulous other shows of the NeonicVoid Productions. Yeah. Y'all see us on YouTube. Yeah. Hi, how are you? If you see our lovely faces, hi. I know I'm beautiful. Stop it. Stop.
I didn't say anything.
Not you. It's the viewer. The viewer's like, my God, that ginger man's so beautiful. Thank you. Stop it. Stop it.
As you can see here, the Delulu is real.
I am beautiful. At least that's what my boyfriend tells me all the time.
He's your boyfriend. He's supposed to say that.
I'm a 10 out of 10 in his eyes.
And you know what? That's all that matters.
That's all that matters, baby. I'm a catch.
So, yeah. Anyway, so thank you for tuning into Book Watchers. Today, Devin, what are we reading today?
We're reading. We're taking a trip back to Japan with some manga.
Oh. Ooh. Manga.
Yeah. Now, I normally want to do manga and comic book stuff, obviously, for House of Ideas. But of course, as you've all probably listened to, unless you're new here, hi if you're new, Sometimes I do manga or graphic novels on here. I keep them to particular ones that either correlate or they're like one-offs or whatever. Today, I could feel the universe judging me. It's called Our Torsos Align. Human X Monster Love. Is not what you think, I promise. It's not some monster smut, I swear. There's no nudity whatsoever. There might be tentacles coming out somewhere that shouldn't be coming out of, but we'll get to that. It's not what you think, you sickos. Yeah, I'm looking at you, werewolf boy. Yeah, I'm looking at you. I'll woo.
Oh my god, I read one.
Read 1
to 4 werewolf.
Yeah, 1 to 4
love stories, and suddenly you're branded for life.
Yeah, I mean, your name is Kaiju Groupie. So, yes, I am talking about Our Torsos Align, Human X Monster Love, story and art by, I'm going to butcher your name, and I am so sorry. Ryo Suminashi? I think I'm pronouncing that right because the Japanese names are easy to pronounce. You pronounce the letters. It's very, what's the word? Phonetic? Is that the word I'm looking for?
Phonetic?
Like when you look at it, it sounds like what it looks like. Because Japanese names are kind of like that.
Devin, I went to school for art, not linguistics or grammar. You did too, so stop trying.
No, but anyway. That's who the artist is. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that name correctly, but if I didn't, I am so sorry.
Oh, wait. How do you spell her name?
Their name, I do not know if it's a boy or girl. Their name is R-Y-O. Ryo? Rio, and then Sumiyoshi? Sumiyoshi. It's Sumiyoshi. It's Yoshi.
Yeah,
Sumiyoshi. Sumi and Yoshi.
Sumiyoshi.
Yeah, Sumiyoshi.
I still feel like we're pronouncing
I got there eventually.
Wrong, but
I don't
feel like we still are pronouncing it wrong. But then again, we can't really say it like they would.
Well, I mean, obviously we don't have the proper accent because we're speaking English, not Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I pronounced it right. If not, I am so sorry. Your stuff is amazing. Heart. I'm a fan, big fan. So this book is released from Seven Entertainment, Seven Seas Entertainment, or Seven Seas Books, manga. You can find it on gomanga.com, Amazon, whatever. I'm reading it off, of course, my Amazon Fire, blah, 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 Kindle, amazing, stunning, go, Kindle stuff. We're not sponsored, but I wish we were. So this book is an omnibus that consists of 2 volumes of this series. And there's like several, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 chapters. One of them split into 2 parts, and each one deals with a different monster and or human. Monster-human relationship of some kind. So, first one we got to is Naptum, which is about a girl and a bird man. So the story of that one deals around Hannah. I'm assuming blonde because the hair is white in the book, so I'm assuming it's a blonde woman. That's why I picture, and that's what some of the images show. That's actually colored. What do you
never? You can never tell with manga because, like, sometimes you assume that a character has blonde hair, but then you see the anime and it's like blue or pink.
That's fair. But in the image, and some of the artwork images, and the cover is the 2 characters that I'm going to be talking about, and she's blonde haired with that thing. Okay. And I'm like, maybe she's blonde hair, blue eyes. I'm like, white woman. White woman says otherwise because she never said. I don't think she ever says where she's from, but she's in the Amazon. doing a safari, whatever, not safari, doing a tour of the Amazon. And at some point in the Amazon, she gets lost or finds she's on a boat in the Amazon, and she ends up she traveled to the Amazon to get away from her life back at home, because we jump back to her house and she finds out her boyfriend's cheating on her with another woman, but it turns out the other woman was his wife. So he was cheating on his wife with her. So she was the hussy. I was like, damn. So she got found out, and then she pieced out and decided to go to the Amazon alone to kind of get a sense of adventure. And then the canoe she was on got struck by lightning, and she fell into the water of the Amazon River. And this large bird came down and took her away. Swept her out of the water with a big old claw, and she wakes up in a nest in the middle of a tree with this humanoid bird named Neptune. Now, this humanoid bird, I will probably put an image of him on there, but we'll see. He looks like that.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a big old bird. And he has arms, legs, and of course the big old bird wings. And he looks the design is pretty legit. It looks adorable as hell. And he kind of acts like not a newborn, but he's very naive, obviously, because he's never met a human before. So he knows very little English, obviously. And he has this weird bird language. And this story is basically about her trying to figure out a way back home or out of there, while also learning about this new species of humanoid bird. And she's like, what the fuck? Who are you? And they both kind of just get to know each other and shit. And she kind of becomes fond of him. And she thinks he's a man in a costume, in a bird costume. And he's like, you have a beak, you have talons. You're a man in a costume, right? And she goes, oh shit, you're not even human. Oh no. And
oh no.
Yeah. And then the Birdman bonds with her and says, he loves her. Cause like animals bond for life. He's chosen her as his mate, basically. And then he has to go talk to his chief, leader of his tribe or clan or whatever, to try and convince him like, yeah, this is my mate. And of course, the chief is a bit much bigger Birdman, and he can speak perfect English. And he does not like the fact that there's a human here. And he's like, you need to go. He should be with he should be with someone of his own kind, not a human. Get the fuck out. And he's like, once you heal from your wounds, you're going to pack up your shit and you're going to leave. And of course, Neptune does not like that. Obviously, he's like, no, she's going to die. And he's like, no, she needs to go. So the night happened. The following night, I think like the next day in the middle of the night, Chief comes by, takes her from his nest and drops her in the middle of the rainforest. So this is for your own good. And then she almost gets killed by a snake, a very large snake. But she is saved by the Birdman, Neptune. He comes in, fights off the snake and saves her. And then he takes her back to his nest. And then they have kind of like an altercation between the chief and Neptune. And then you kind of learn that the chief is not the first time he's met a human, because you kind of get the hint that he might have fallen in love with a human woman before as well. So he's like, well, shit, I can't. Okay. He's like, fine, you two can stay together. So she tells him, I love you too. And then there's a whole like hug, embrace scene, and they kind of just they live together happily ever after. And I thought, oh, this is adorable. This is not what I thought was going to happen, because I saw that Human X Monster Love, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be smut. And it's not. like at all. That's the
So
first
it's a very short series, is it?
Yes, because each chapter is over a different monster, and it's like a different little short story. So the first one's a Birdman. Okay. The second one is with a fisherman and a mermaid. Now I'm thinking this one. Oh, this one's gonna be spicy. No, it wasn't. It's not even close. So this fisherman is obviously on the coast of Japan, I'm assuming, and he makes a life out of fishing, and he's not very good at it because he does not get big fish at all. But then one day he catches a woman in his net and throws her out of the water, and he realizes, oh shit, this is a girl. What the fuck? And he drives back and he tells the other fisherman, hey, I caught a girl in my net. What's going on here? And when the old fishermen get on the boat and look, she's gone. And the guys are like, you're losing your goddamn mind. You're seeing shit. That's what people see. That's what sailors would see out in the middle of the sea, mermaids when they're going crazy, hallucinating. So he takes what little fish he has and sells it off, but he's not making a lot of money off of it because he's either not very good at it or he's not in a good spot. But then this girl starts popping up randomly, giving him large fish. And this mermaid's walking out in plain sight, 2 legs, the whole works. And
so he doesn't realize it's a mermaid just yet.
No, he does not realize it's necessarily a mermaid. Because this mermaid doesn't necessarily have a tail either. That's what's weird. Because I think it's mermaid in a concept because her body kind of forms from water to a humanoid form, but then back into water. It's weird. It's a weird concept of a mermaid because you really don't see a tail per se. But she pops up periodically and gives him fish and crabs and shellfish. And he's like, why are you helping me? And she's just like, because she's being nice. And you can kind of see that she starts bonding with him. And then she brings an octopus, a starfish, a bunch of other type of shellfish, but no one else sees this girl, just him. Because when someone else comes into the picture and sees her, she disappears into the water. And the mermaid tells the guy to, hey, go out in the sea tonight. You're gonna be able to catch some big fish. So he starts packing up and getting ready to go on a boat out in the middle of the night. And the guys are like, older fishermen are like, I don't know if you want to do that. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because there's a storm coming. And he's like, it looks perfectly fine out here. It's clear. He's like, no, but there's going to be a storm rolling in. So he doesn't listen to them and he goes out. And then he gets caught in a hella storm with the girl, because the girl's in the boat and he's driving around the boat and the waves are getting real intense. And I think he starts noticing that something's wrong with this girl. So this story kind of goes about the way of maybe this mermaid or this woman is trying to lure him to his death at sea. So it's the vibe I'm getting off of it. Because they have a moment that they're consider themselves both outcasts, and as the waves get more intense, her body, like her hair, becomes more octopus-like, more tendrily. And I'm like, ooh, she's trying to kill him. And she's like, the sea won't ever let you be alone. Because she's trying to be like, you won't be alone in the sea. Join me in the sea. But of course, as a human, if he goes into the sea, he will drown and die. So he gets saved by the fishermen, and he never really. He gets saved by the fishermen, and he's like, y'all care? Because he always thought the old men hated him for whatever reason, because he was younger or whatever. And he's like, you saved me. Why? He's like, because we like you, kid. We would have helped you if you asked, but you never did. So it ends with him being like, oh my God, the old man did care. I'm not an outcast. And the mermaid's never seen again after she tried to drown him. Because back in the olden days with the stories, mermaids, legends of mermaids would try to drown people, or those were called sirens. Of course, sirens are also harpies and/or mermaids. So that's a weird thing.
Yeah, it's weird because like there's like so many different stories about them. Like there's mermaids, sirens, and then like I've always seen harpies as like bird women. Like
Yeah.
that's the image that I've always seen.
Yeah.
But apparently they're also interchangeable with something like sirens.
Yeah.
Which and then like I thought sirens literally were just like they look like women that just sing and their song draws men to their deaths, right? Like men to like drive to like sail their boats into like the reef or into like hard rocks that would just tear their ships apart.
Yeah.
But then like I started seeing images of sirens that are basically mermaids, and I'm like, so wait, what are they then? Is it a mermaid? Is it a siren? Is it a like what is it?
That's where it gets weird because you got harpies, mermaids, and then sirens can either be a harpy or a mermaid. It's fucking weird. It just depends on which culture and which story you're looking at. Like the Greeks, I think, use siren for both. Because I think there have been stories where they use sirens as mermaids, but then there are also sirens that are also harpies. So it's really weird.
I like the siren. I like the sirens from the Witcher game, the Witcher 3 game. Because the sirens in that one, well, they're like a mix of all three. So they have it's kind of like almost something like a centaur. So like the upper body is that of a beautiful woman, but then like right where their body becomes a fishtail, they have wings. So they have wings and the fishtail too. So they do swim in the ocean, but then they can jump out and start flying.
Oh my god, flying
really
fish.
Nasty fuckers.
Flying fish.
Yeah, pretty much.
Flying fish.
And then when they die, they like the thing is that the female the beautiful women is just it's just an illusion. So when they die, they immediately turn into this ugly like hag looking creature.
Ooh.
So I like that. It was like a mix of the harpy, the siren, and mermaid.
Yeah. No, that sounds cool. I like that. That's cool. So that's the mermaids, or that's the mermaid. And then it shows an image of like a wave of water turning into the mermaid. So I'm kind of like, is that supposed to be like an idea that she's forming from the water itself into the human?
Yeah.
Instead of like the fish. And I'm like, that's kind of an interesting take on a mermaid. Then we go into homunculus, which, Jacob, do you know what a homunculus is?
So are we talking like the artificial humans from...
Yeah, okay. It's a fully micro. It's so the definition of a homunculus, ladies and gentlemen, others, is a supposed microscopic but fully formed human being from which a fetus was formerly believed to develop. So artificial humans, basically. That's the lore aspect of it. Is like it's artificial humans. Man-made humans. So this one's about a group of homunculi that are used for missions, combat missions, because so the story here is that humanity left Earth because Earth was going to shit. So when they after many years, they decided to come back, they found out, oh, the Earth has new life forms on it that are very hostile. Let's make these homunculi to take out these hostile creatures so we could take back our home. So that's basically the story where you meet a bunch of homunculi as they, there's one called I7, C4, they all have a bunch of they have a letter and a number in their name, but they're all homunculi. And they're all being led by a human woman named Takiko. And she's the head of the homunculus education. And she basically is she's the chair. She's the computer girl at the desk talking to all the homunculi out there. So you got one set I7, C1, D5, U5. Is that all of them? I think that's all of them. So they all come in different shapes. Like you have 1-7, which is a 6-year-old 6 years old, 7th generation homunculi. He's much shorter and he seems even more built for like weapon usage. Then you got like C1, which he's 7 years old and he's a 7th generation homunculi. And he's more, for me, he seems more speed. And then you have U5 and D5 that are like big, muscular built tanks. And yeah, the story is about them fighting off different life forms, insects, bugs, creatures, monsters, whatever, that are on Earth. And these homunculi are trying to basically just learn stuff around them, learn how to communicate, learn culture, all that fun shit from their leader. And the thing about homunculus, they live only to be 20 years old. And then what sucks? So the point of this story is with human and monster love, it's more of a parental love because the woman in charge is like treats these homunculus like they're her kids. So it's this one's based around the idea of motherly love. So she sees all these homunculi as her kids, even though she wasn't supposed to get attached to them. And she planned on retiring, but she can't because she's like, these are my children, basically. I can't do that. And she's with them until they hit about 20. And when they hit about 20, they'll just randomly drop to the floor dead. Like they'll shut down randomly.
Damn.
Yeah. It's like because they have a flashback where she's walking with one of them and she's talking with them like, yeah, we're going to get your favorite food for dinner or whatever. And then she looks away and they falls to the ground, dead, gone, shut off. And it's just the lifespan of the homunculi. And the whole story is basically that. Like she wants to retire, but she can't. She's like, these are my children. I raised them. I can't just up and leave them. And one of the homunculi, one of the older ones, the one that's D5, he goes out there and goes on a reckless mission by himself. He's like, if I die, I don't care. I need to do one last mission, do my job, whatever. And everyone's like, are you crazy? Stop. You're about to die. Don't kill yourself. And they almost lose him. And that's kind of where where their leader's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not retiring. You all are my kids. I can't leave y'all. And then they all start calling her mom. And I mean, that's pretty much the story in a nutshell, is that they do several missions and they kind of deal with the fact that someday they're going to die. They're not going to live very long because their lifespan is very short. And it's not fair that their lifespan is very short because at the end of the day, they're still living things. Regardless if they're man-made or artificially made or whatever, they're still living creatures, living beings. And it kind of pushes the envelope on, are these homunculus human or are they not? Are they just objects? Or are they just as human as their leader, who's a literal human? So kind of makes you sit there and go, oh. But she gets attached, obviously, and from that point they all start calling her mom, and she continues on with this mission of raising the homunculus even into her old age. As an old woman, she still does it. She's like, these are my kids. So, and she comes to terms with that that's pretty much it. I liked that one a lot. It was real cute and sweet. And that's when I realized, oh, this book is not smut. This book is about different forms of love in a person's life. Romantically, motherly, platonic, whatever. And then we get into the next one that's real fucked up. Oh my God. It's our special little co-host, Shelly. Miss Ma'am.
She was eyeballing me just now. Like she was just napping earlier, and then I just felt something staring at me. I looked over, and there she was sitting at the other edge of my bed, just staring at me.
It's like, hello, I matter. Yeah. Furry little baby. Mm-hmm. She died, a baby.
Mm-hmm. She's a 10-year-old baby, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
She is my elderly child.
Yeah.
Oh. She probably wants to go out.
Probably.
We're almost done, Mamas. All right.
So we get into the next one. And then I'm like, oh, this is so heartwarming. This is so sweet. Next one's not so sweet. This one's called the Inhuman Flower.
Oh,
yeah, I've already talked about this one with you. I was like, oh, this is so cute. No, it's not. So this one deals around a guy that's on a date with this girl who they're at a coffee shop and he's looking at this girl and this girl has a flower for a head. And you're thinking, oh, a humanoid flower. Because she has like, from the neck down, she's human. From the neck up, she's a flower, a lily. Because her name is Yuri, and Yuri is Japanese for lily. So he's talking to this flower creature, and he's talking about how beautiful she is and how he's a florist, of course, and how they first met when in the rain. She came up to him asking for flowers to take to a grave. And he's just like, oh, she's so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And it gets kind of attached. Their date ends and they talk about how they're going to meet up later. And when she's walking away, he hands her a scarf, put it around her neck. And she's like, oh, you look so pretty, so beautiful, blah, 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 blah. And they kind of have a tender moment. And I'm like, oh, this is a romance story. It's so cute. And then she walks away and she's on the train with the scarf. And you realize that's a human girl. She has a human head and everything, not a flower head. And then it comes back to him. And it says, that was close. It was perfect for her. I knew my instincts were right. Red looks so good on that white flower. I have to prepare before she comes to my place. I need a vase to hold her beauty. Indicating that she's going to cut off her head and put her head in a vase. And I'm like, how do you go for something so cute and wholesome as the homunculus to this serial killer obsessed with flowers and thinking people, they can cut off their head, it's a flower? I was like, oh, this is fucked up. This is fucked up. I love it, but this is fucked up. I'm like, girl, run away. He is psycho. He is a serial killer who loves flowers. So there's that one. And then we get into the torso warrior. So the torso warrior, where do I even begin with torso guy? So these two astronauts, space people, are from Earth, and they're visiting this planet that they're trying to find a new home for humanity, for relocation. So they find this planet, it looks habitable, and it's a guy and a girl, Turner and Nami, I think is her name.
Mm-hmm.
So these two are doing research on the planet and seeing if it's habitable, if there's any living life forms, stuff like that. And then they find out about this creature that lives on this planet that comes across them, that basically entered their station and scared the shit out of them. Turns out that this thing is one of many things, because the first one they saw attack them, and then another one came into their defense to save them. And these things are male. They look male as far as the torso. So it's the torso of a male, no arms, no legs, butt, chest, head, that's it. And on top of their head, they have these wings coming out of their head that they fly. And they're very fast and very strong, quick, nimble. And then they have these tentacle things that are coming out of their body. And you're like, what the fuck? And these are the alien life forms that live on this planet. They come to find out from the one that saved them. The one that saved them is like, oh, I'm here to protect you. They're trying to kill, the other ones are trying to kill you. The other warriors are trying to kill you because you're a poison. And they're like, what the fuck do you mean we're a poison? Turns out humanity is poison. They're like, no matter your intentions, you're going to bring harm to this world. And I'm like, oof, humanity's a poison. And I'm like, okay, I see what they're trying to go for here. And they're like, why are you helping us? Why are you defending us? Because the other torso warriors were flinging rocks and shit at them. But this particular one was helping them. He's like, because I love you both. Because the memories tell me so. And like, what memories? So they're basically trying to continue on their experimentation and while also trying to figure out why are these things here? How are they? Is there something wrong with them? And basically, there's in two parts. And you find out that these life forms are just the life that happens beyond this planet. And
right.
Huh?
No, I just said right.
Yeah. So Nami, the girl, is kind of looking over the one she calls Nike, which of course, for all you that don't know, Nike is the god or the goddess of victory in Greek mythology. And she's also kind of referencing the statue, the headless, armless statue of Nike. That's well known. And she's like, oh my God, this creature's like Nike. No arms, no legs, just a head. But granted, the statue has no arms, legs, or head. It's just the torso and wings. So she calls him in her head Nike, but she never actually says it out loud. But turns out she's feeling this creature. His body is very alloy, hard as a rock, hard as steel, metal. And she notices these tentacle things coming out of its butt. Literally coming out the butt. And I'm like, what? And it turns out these things are also made out of metal, and it's another thing that lives inside of these creatures. That they can use like a symbiotic relationship, but it's coming out the butt. And I'm like, that's interesting. So at this point, they kind of realized, yeah, maybe we shouldn't live here on this planet because the planet itself is trying to kill us. And it's telling all these older warriors to try and kill us because we're a poison. So they're like, yeah, we need to get the hell out of here. And we're going to call this planet a loss to leave and kind of just tell humanity, this planet's not it. We need to leave these creatures alone to thrive on their own. So, and then they also start realizing that these creatures can absorb memories and emotions from objects. During the final battle, when these other torso warriors are battling Nike, they blow a hole in them and they find a ring. The ring that they found was the ring because these two have been on this planet prior. And Turner gave Nami a ring, almost like an engagement ring or a promise ring. And the emotions he was getting that he loved them, that overpowered his emotions to defend the planet or whatever, were from the ring because he had the ring on his person. So that's when, and then of course Nami and Turner realize, oh shit, he does. Nami's like, oh my God, Turner does love me. Oh my God. The human relations. And then of course they leave the planet. They leave it to the creatures and they kind of just go off and do their own thing. That's pretty much it, is the fact of like, these metallic creatures are on the planet, humanity's a poison, blah, blah, blah. He defends them and they leave. Like, we're going to leave this planet alone because we don't want to fuck up their ecosystem. So, and then from there, that's that story. And so what's funny is Nike dies. They kill him. They destroy him. Like he's saying his goodbyes and then he blows up the little bite-sized pieces. They blow his brains out. And then at the very end, when their ship is flying off, he comes out of the ground and forms from the ground below him, which is kind of cool. Because he's made from the earth. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then the last story is Chief. We go back to Chief. So we go back to the first story with the Birdman. And we learn a little bit. We check back in with Hannah. So Hannah is learning the language of the bird people, of her husband and his fellow kin. So she's having a hard time learning the language, but she's trying to get it to work. And Chief is like, hey, if you can tell me, if you can ask me the question of what happened, how do you know English? If you can ask me that question, I'll tell you that story. So, because she wants to know, why do you know so much about humans? What's the story there? And he's like, you asked me in that language and I'll tell you. So she tries to learn how to say it, obviously. But then we get a flashback that the chief also met a woman named Yuki, who was human and who kind of saw him as a monster. Like you kind of see a flashback of her meeting him, and they kind of have a cute little moments here and there where they first meet and they're all tender, and then they wed. And what I mean by wed, they spend the night together. To catch what I'm throwing down. And he has these tapes that she would record, and it turns out she was more terrified of him. She saw him as a monster, or at least it's what it came off as from me reading it, because it doesn't explicitly say, but he feels basically betrayal, and because I guess he didn't read the situation. So he sees, she saw him as a monster, and you get a shot of her pointing a gun at him saying, "You need to get away from me." And that's basically Chief's story on why he had such disdain against humans for the longest time, because he fell in love with a human and it turns out it wasn't reciprocated. So, there's that. And that's pretty much it for the book. I mean, there's a bunch of little bonus stories of like the homunculi and more background stories of like the mermaid and stuff, but nothing, it's more of a bonus content, extra little fun stories, nothing huge. That's pretty much the book for Our Torsos Align. You want to go read it, check it out. It's a fun read. Yeah, that's it. I don't know. There's nothing to talk about. Monsters.
So it was very half and half. You had like some that were very wholesome and full of like love and romance, and then you had others that were just fucking depraved.
Well, one was real depraved.
Yeah.
The inhuman flower was the monster's not the flower, y'all. It's the man.
It was the butt tentacles for me.
The butt tentacles. That still sends me for a whirl. I'm like, what? What?
Like, what is this book?
What? Why? I mean, the design of it looks legit. Like,
yeah.
At the time of this recording, we're going to see each other tomorrow. I will show you what it looks like. The design of it looks legit. But then when they point it out, why are there tentacles come out of your butt? You're like, oh, what? Why?
Oh, really? There are? What?
They're like, yeah, well, because he says it matter of factly. He's like, yeah, there's something in my body it's a living thing inside my body. And I'm like, in your butt? Girl, that's gay. That's gay if I ever heard about it.
Super duper gay.
So if you like monsters and you don't want smut and you actually want some wholesome stories and some real fucked up ones, well, one fucked up one, go read it. It's fun. It's not what I expected at all going into it. At all. I thought it was going to be smut. No, wholesome. And that is it for today's episode. Catch us next time, as I will be getting into more manga next week. And next week is going to be going on a particular series of manga, starting off with a one-shot from that said series. But until then, bye.
Bye.